Hello and welcome everyone. Today is the first session of our Python tutorial, and today we are going to talk about Python variables. To be more exact, we are going to talk about first, creating variables, second, giving names to variables and rules of it, third, multiple values, and fourth, outputting the value of a variable. So let's start. Variables are containers for storing values. A Python variable is a reserved memory location to store values. In other words, a variable in a Python program gives data to the computer for processing. If you want to imagine a variable, you can imagine a bowl and you can put data in it. Each variable in Python has a name. For example, as you can see here, we have different variables. For example, name equals to John, or the other variable which is age, which equals to 26, or the third one which is a list, which is friends, and in the friends list we have John, Jesse, and Roy. Here we have something called a variable type. We have different types for variables. For example, we have a strings, which is a bunch of letters. We have integer, which is a bunch of numbers, and we have lists, tuples, and so on, which we are not going to discuss right now. So, whenever you want to create a variable in Python, there is no command for it. A variable is created the moment you first assign a value to it. For example, here we have the variable x, which equals to 4, or the variable y, which equals to the name John, which is a string, as we said. You can print the values of these variables with the print function, which we would discuss in the next lectures. So, here we have some more information about creating variables. Variables do not need to be declared with any particular type and can even change the type after they have been set. For example, in the first line of our code, x equals to 4. In the next line, we have x, which equals to Sally. Sally is a string, I said, a bunch of letters. Or the first one, 4, is an integer, which is a number. We change the value of x and we print it out. So the value which gets printed out is Sally, not 4. Because variables in Python can change. Even the types of variables can change. So, whenever you want to get the type of a variable, you can get it with the usage of type function in Python. So, look at the example. We want to get the type of x, which is an integer here. Or the next one, we want to get the type of y, which is a string. You will learn more about data types in the next lecture and casting them, so do not worry about it right now. As you may have noticed, for string values in variables, we used single or double quotations. There is no difference between single or double quotation. They are exactly as the same. We have another subject to discuss, which is case sensitivity. In Python, variables are case sensitive. It means if you write A with a capital letter, it is very different from A with lowercase letters, as you can see in the example. So let's talk about the variables and their names and the rules that we need to obey whenever we are creating variables. A variable can have a short name like x or y, or a more descriptive name like age, call name, total value, and we have some more rules for Python variables. Number 1, a variable name must start with a letter or the underscore character. A variable name cannot start with a number. A variable name can only contain alphanumerical characters and underscores. For example, A to Z or 0 to 9 and underscore. A variable names are case sensitive, as we talked about. For example, age, which starts with lowercase letter, is different from age, which starts with capital letters, or age in all caps. They are 3 different variables. And also, a variable name cannot be any of the Python keywords. Do not worry, we will talk about the Python keywords in the next lectures. So here we have some examples of legal variable names. For example, the first one, my var, which just starts with a letter. The next one, my var with an underscore. This is okay too. The third one starts with an underscore, which is perfect, which is okay. Number 4 starts with a letter, but it's lower, it's okay. Number 5, it's all caps, it's okay. And number 6 is a bunch of letters, and at the end we have a number. It is totally okay. But let's talk about illegal variable names. For example, number 1, you cannot start a variable with a number, like 2. Or the next one, you cannot use a hyphen between two words in a variable. Or number 3, you should not put any distance or space between the names of a single variable. For example, my var. This is completely incorrect. So let's talk about multiple word variable names. As I said, you cannot put a space between them. So variable names with more than one word can be difficult to read. There are several techniques that you can use to make them more readable. The first one is a camel case. Each word except the first one starts with a capital letter, as you can see in the example. Number 2 is a Pascal case. Each word starts with a capital letter. The difference is, for the first one, we don't have capital letter at the beginning, but for the next one, we have capital letters for the beginning. And the last one, which is my favorite, it's called a snake case. Each word is separated by an underscore character. So let's talk about the next subject, which is assigning multiple values. Many values to multiple variables. For example, Python allows you to assign values to multiple variables in just one line. For example, x, y, and z equals to orange, banana, and cherry. If you print each one of them, for example, if you print out the value of x, it equals to orange. If you print out the value of y, it equals to banana. Or the third one, which is z, it equals to cherries. Make sure the number of variables matches the number of your values, or else you will get an error. So let's talk about another subject. One value to multiple variables. And as you can see here, you can assign same value to multiple variables in just one line. For example, x, y, and z, all of them have the value of orange, and they are exactly the same. Let's talk about outputting variables, which is the last topic of today. The Python print function is often used to output variables. As you can see here, we have x, which equals to Python is awesome. And with the usage of print, you can print it out in the terminal. In the print function, you output multiple variables separated by a comma. Actually, you can do that. For example, here we have x, y, and z, which equals to Python is awesome. And you can print all of them together. You have two ways. If the first one was a comma, we checked it together, and the second one is the plus operator to output multiple values. For example, Python is awesome. We used a plus operator to output all of them together. And notice the space character after Python and is, because without them, the result would be Python is awesome without any space. So let's talk about the plus character for numbers. For numbers, the plus character works as a mathematical operator. For example, x equals to 5 and y equals to 10. If you print the value of these two, you would see in the terminal, you would see 15, which we added these two numbers together. In the print function, when you try to combine a string and a number with the plus operator, Python will give you an error. So look at the example, x equals to 5 and y equals to John. If you want to print out the value of these two, you would get an error because this is an unsupported operation, because these two have different types. The first one is an int, the second one is a string. The best way you can output multiple values in the print function is to separate them with commas, which even supports different data types. For example, like the previous one, which prints it out perfectly okay. And let's talk about the homework of today's session. Look at the picture. This is my friend. You should help my friend introduce himself at a job interview. You should make the following variables: first name, last name, age, nationality, and favorite color, and print the following statement. Hello, my name is. You should put the first name variable here and the value of it. You can change them too, don't worry. And my last name is, last name, I'm something years old, and I am from the name of a country. My favorite color is, then you would put the variable of favorite color. As a quick note, here you can use comma to separate the sentences and the variables, as you can see here. So thanks for watching. And don't forget, if you like this video, don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel. Do not forget to come back tomorrow for the next lecture. Thank you so much.